I call upon the College Chaplain, Father Michael Wall, to read the conferring blessing.
Slucht a slitter nef pól cig na hefísig. Sinnéan fó a dhéimar maglúna I bhíne se nahar ón an animítar gach clán nabh agus talamh. Go dugas sé díomh as olbhathas a glóra go bhaig sibh neart agus cumach in bhéanach trín the Spirit. Go mar ag Christ I bhú grí trí credibh agus go méid sibh préomhathe agus bunathe sa grá chlí go bhéidig sibh féin agus an naomh go léir, ád agus lehead, agus irda agus dainas a hiiscint. Go curic sé sibh ólas grá Christ a thóas chun tuiscine. Agus go líon for sibh de líon bharacht lán dé. Glór den téúd a féidir dó, I bhd níos mó a dhéanamh, ná mar a díanamid nó smaoineh féin tríd an cócht atá ag obair ioning. Glór go raibh aige san aglis, agus I gríst ísta, ó glún go brach na brethe. Amen.
I am pleased to call upon the President of the University of Limerick, Professor Don Barry, to formally convene a meeting of the University for the purpose of conferring academic awards.
Mayor of Limerick, Cathaoirleach Limerick County Council, members of the University of Limerick Governing Authority, chairman and members of the Mary Immaculate College Governing Body, members of the academic councils, faculty members, distinguished guests, parents, families and friends, and graduands of the class of 2013. A meeting of the university is hereby convened for the purpose of conferring academic awards. Exercising the power granted to the University of Limerick by Oireachtas Éireann, I hereby confer degrees of the university on the graduates of the Faculty of Arts and the Faculty of Education. Students not present are hereby conferred in absentia.
I am pleased to call upon the chairperson of the governing body of Mary Immaculate College, Bishop Brendan Leahy, to make an address of welcome.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Cathaoirleach of Limerick County Council, Councillor John Sheehan, President of the University of Limerick, Professor Don Barry, President of Mary Immaculate College, Professor Michael Hayes, fellow trustees of the college and members of An Bord Rialaithe, members of the governing body of the University of Limerick, academic staff, other college staff, invited guests, families, and of course, most especially, the graduates of this class of 2013. It is my very great pleasure indeed and honour as chairman of An Bord Rialaithe to welcome you to Mary Immaculate College for this graduation ceremony. Tá an áthas ó chríorlam, 100 míle fáilte chuireómh ile go dtí an chláiste nniuh. Is speisialta an ócáid I seo, go háire dómh siúd, go léir atá ag buint gradam I nniuh. Dinm chó gádas tíomh go léir, agus dinm chó gádas chomá le bhór dismóthirí. As the new chairman of the newly constituted Bord Rialaithe, I am really delighted to be here. In a sense, without a graduation of its students, a college such as this, in a sense, would be pointless. This is a high point in our college calendar. The college exists ultimately to promote the best in students to the point of achieving recognition of work done and commitment, the commitment involved in that, and all then the research that goes into that. During your studies, you have aimed high, you've made good friends, you've achieved a very good qualification, and I really warmly congratulate you. The college is proud of you. And there's something always, I think, a little emotional about a graduation ceremony for all of us. In a sense, it's as if the community of communities involved in the journey of each one of you, each graduate here today, is now meeting up for a moment of common celebration. And so we salute the parents' family relations. I'm sure it's great for many of your parents and relations, I know this from my own experience, to put a face on some of those lectures you've heard about during these years. Admittedly, with internet, you've checked it out already, but today gives you a chance maybe to get to know them personally, maybe to see that lecturer that asked that exam questions you heard a lot about at home, but especially to get a chance to be together in this community of communities. I greet especially the academic staff who have given of their heart and mind to help the graduates reach this day. While our academic staff always enjoy and take pride in their former students at graduation day, I think there's always a tinge of sadness too, because students that we've come to know now move on to their pathways. We hope they'll come back, some of them, for further studies. And so while the academic staff are delighted that this moment has been reached, there's always a little element, I think, of sadness at the departure. I greet also the many others who've played an important role here during your time: the professional services staff, supervisors of doctoral studies, student support services, the various unions, the students' union rep, the chaplaincy services. I'm sure there are many other college services. And perhaps some of these have been working away in a hidden manner in the background, but their contribution has been essential, and it's important to acknowledge it on a day like today. I believe you can be rightly proud of having studied here at this renowned Limerick College of Mary Immaculate. It's a wonderful college that has rightly earned its prestigious place on the third-level educational landscape in Ireland. From my point of view, as successor to Bishop Edward O'Dwyer, who together with the Mercy Sisters laid the foundation stone for this college on the 8th of December 1899, I'm truly honoured to be here and to recognise that what he expressed that day when the foundation stone was laid is true. He said, "This college will do great work yet." And you're a part of that great work that has gone on for over a century now in this hallowed place. It's well known that third-level education is moving through a time of new directions and change. You've been part of that. And I'm pleased to note, and with gratitude, the incisive engagement on the part of this college in the new developments that have been proposed in recent years. The college finds itself, I believe, in the interesting position of belonging to two streams of renewal at this very juncture of history. On the one hand, there is the renewal inspired by the many stimuli that come to us, for instance, through the various bodies and other agencies with whom the college works closely and to whom it is grateful for support in so many ways. Obviously, here we can be grateful too to the University of Limerick, where they're in a very important role. On the other hand, there is the current of renewal within the Catholic Church that also informs the educational project of this college, a renewal that revolves around key issues of identity, relationship, unity and plurality, community, dialogue, and socio-political engagement. And what I want to suggest to you is that precisely because this is a Catholic college engaged in this two or multi-sourced renewal, this institution has been well placed to present you with a distinctive contribution in the midst of the symphony of educational opportunities on offer in Ireland today. And perhaps we need to reflect a little bit more on that distinctive contribution. So I'd like to encourage you, who've just gone through the system here, to keep in touch with us, to offer us your perspectives, so that we can continue this journey of renewal as we move forward as a college. And maybe just for a moment, let's just review some of the aspects that perhaps unwittingly you have benefited from and which it is good to take note of on an occasion such as today's graduation. Firstly, the college where you have studied is part of a worldwide educational project of the Catholic Church. Just think, there are 1,500 Catholic institutions of higher learning in the world, and it's a growing phenomenon. In the past 20 years alone, over 160 Catholic institutions of higher learning have been established throughout the world. Your scholarly journey has taken place within Catholicism as context and horizon. The Catholic Church has indeed a rich intellectual history. Not only that, but within Catholicism, there are also many traditions: artistic, literary, moral, spiritual, historical, socio-political, and scientific. And in a way, those traditions have shaped the community of scholarship throughout centuries at this stage. Rightly understood, therefore, a Catholic college benefits from the lively tradition that is Catholicism, a tradition that is itself constantly undergoing renewal through the interaction of contemplation and spiritual experience, study, and attentiveness to the signs of the times, such as we see happening at this juncture of the college's history in this multi-sourced renewal that I have just mentioned. At a time when there is a tendency to reduce the horizon of knowledge to what can be simply measured in a kind of instrumental reasoning, and to ignore questions touching on ultimate things, ultimate meaning, we need academics and students who explore the big questions, the why questions, within a vision that harmoniously combines openness to the transcendent and reason, such as we find in Catholicism. Our thinking, after all, never occurs in a vacuum. We always operate within horizons of understanding that expand towards infinitely, ultimately, horizons that help us read history, discover hope. And I think Catholicism is about seeing things according to the whole vision of reality. It's also about inhabiting a living space where the event of truth happens, occurs, in the network of relationships with one another that ultimately make up the body of the Church. Truth, then, is best discerned, explored, discovered together in a transdisciplinary approach to research, teaching, and learning. And that's why, even at the very banal level, the day-to-day life of a college such as this, your own friendships and interactions, provide and play an environment that play an important role in setting up an environment that enlivens this transdisciplinary approach. One final aspect. Catholicism offers, especially today, a living context for reflecting on the socio-economic dimensions of life. After all, the Church is a worldwide community, more than half of whose members are poor. Pope Francis has reminded us time and time again of the need to seek out what he calls existential peripheries. And that invitation extends, therefore, also to our research within the liberal arts, within education, within our whole way of approaching life. We are called, as it were, to have new eyes for the marginalized, the underprivileged, the vulnerable members of society, and let them inform our intellectual journey. Anyway, these are some of the aspects that I wanted to recall today, and in calling them to mind, say to you, look, these are things we find in a Catholic college. Perhaps we've grown so used to having Catholic third-level colleges that we've ended up taking them for granted. Perhaps we need to rekindle a fascination at the distinctiveness that is on offer in a Catholic college. It somehow seems strange that we find ourselves in a situation in Ireland where plurality is hailed as very positive in the primary school level, and so it should be, and yet strangely plurality risks being severely diminished in our third-level sector. In conclusion, I congratulate each and every one of you. I thank you for the contribution you have made to building up this college. Just like a tile in a mosaic, just like each tile in a mosaic is vital, so too each one of you has made a unique and vital contribution to this college that lives on. This is the day the Lord has made. let us rejoice and be glad. I thank the President, Professor Michael Hayes, who has been remarkable in his commitment to this college and most helpful to me since I became Chairman of the Trustees and Chairman of An Bord Rialaithe. I thank the Trustees for their diligent care. In thanking the members of the previous Bord Rialaithe, I now warmly welcome the new members of An Bord Rialaithe, whose generosity in time and commitment is very much appreciated. To one and all, therefore, I pray, Dóchas credh agus grá, bích gebrach, na stúr de bhó grí, benach dé oribh.
The Dean of the Faculty of Arts, Professor Michael Breen, will present the candidates for the conferring of Undergraduate and Thought Postgraduate Awards in Arts.
President, the Academic Council of the University has been satisfied that the following candidates are worthy to be conferred with Undergraduate and Thought Postgraduate Awards. Therefore, I present the candidates and request you to confer the awards on them.
Bachelor Snadona, degree of Bachelor of Arts, Grania Anderson. Aisling Barnes. Paul Barry. Michelle Bellew. James Blackwell. Anya Boland. Sinead Sheila Boyle. Anya Brazel. Jamie Lee Bridgman. Aisling Brown. Leslie Ann Brown. Roisin Buckley. Elaine Mary Burke. Katie Burke. Mark Burke. Catherine Burns. Clara Butler. Eric Burns. Aoife Carey. Jacinta Carroll. Annie Mary Casey. Liam Clancy. Ruth Clark. Emma Cleary. Nicole Cody. Claire Collins. Sarah Condon. Tracy Conroy. Lawrence Considine. Andrea Cooney. Michelle Charlotte Costello. Michelle Costello. Mary Cotter. Michelle Cotter. Michael Coonahan. Daniel Francis Cronin. Gerard Michael Crowe. Louise Marie Crowe. Conor Padraig Crowley. Catherine Cullen. Sean Curran. Alison Daly. Claire Daly. Gerard Deely. Leanne Angela Defew. Lindsay Marie Delaney. Adele Dennehy. Brian Devaney. Noel Dillon. Mairead Dineen. Caroline Hannah Donovan. Tara Doolan. Michael Charles Dowling. Alison Doohan. Roisin Dunk. Niamh Caroline Dunn. Rebecca Egan. Hassan Najad. David Farley. Killian Fennessy. Kellyanne Fennessy. Katie Ferreter. Orla Fields. Siobhan Finucane. Killian Patrick Fitzgerald. Niamh Fitzgerald. Siobhan Fitzpatrick. Grania Flanagan. Marie Floyd. Rachel Flynn. Sarah Kate Flynn. Sarah Elaine Ford. Tomas Frawley. Andrew Anthony Gallivan. Christopher Garrett. Jennifer Maria Gavin. Sarah Gilman. Richard Gleeson. Laura Guilfoyle. Jane Hannigan. Mairead Hock. Fiacre Hayes. Marion Healy. Cormac Heffernan. Megan Hickey. Michael Hickey. Annie Hunt. Susan Johnson. Catherine Mary Joyce. Louise Joyce. Stefan Judge. Marie Keever. Gemma Kelly. John Kelly. Katrina Kennedy. Quiva Kennedy. Teresa Kennedy. Sinead Patricia Kern. Bernard King. Craig Kinghorn. Andrew Laffin. Okay. Damien Hogan, you manage there, can you? Okay. So we call Andrew Laffin again. Deborah Catherine Lane. Breed Christine Larkin. Owen Barra Lahan. Michael Lahan. Jennifer Levy. Corrie Louise Locke. Gary Locke. Aoife Lynch. Ciara Lynch. Laura Lynch. Leo Lines. Sorry, Leo Lynch, my apologies. Louise Lyons. Suzanne Madden. Conor Madigan. Edwina Mangan. Sarah Mannix. Mary McCarthy. Vincent McCarthy. Sive McCoy. Alice McDermott. Niamh MacDonald. Laura McEnroe. Katrina McGrath. Niamh McGrath. Terence McGrath. Kate Marie McGowan. Ashley McInerney. Helen McMahon. Anya Elizabeth McNamara. Declan Meany. Barry Milan. Jenny Moore. Jennifer Moore. James Moriarty. Kira Maroney. Julie Moss. Jacqueline Milan. Siobhan Mulvihill. Aoife Murphy. Yvonne Murphy. Fionn Murray. Alison Nagel. Sinead Nash. Trina Nicoline. Shane Nolan. Jeffrey Nugent. Micheál O'Flaherty. Shane O'Brien. Mark William O'Connell. Noel O'Connell. Oran Philip O'Connell. In absentia. Kevin O'Connor. Anne-Marie O'Donnell. John Joseph O'Donnell. Tara O'Donnell. Colette O'Driscoll. Fiacra O'Dwyer. Holly Claire O'Farrell. Sandra Noreen O'Farrell. Christopher O'Looney. Grania O'Loughlin. Aoife Alstorn. Claire O'Riordan. Orla Mary O'Riordan. Jackie O'Rourke. Mary O'Shea. Laura O'Sullivan. Alva O'Sullivan. Aoife Jean O'Sullivan. Breffney O'Sullivan. Colm O'Sullivan. Dara O'Sullivan. Kate O'Sullivan. Orla O'Sullivan. Therese Ellen O'Sullivan. Aisling O'Toole. Kelda Power. Sarah Marie Power. Gemma Pratt. David Quinn. Maria Ray. Aoife Redfern. Kate Reeves. Owen Rowley. Ailish Ryan. Kira Ann Ryan. In absentia. Emma Bridget Ryan. Georgina Ryan. Noel Ryan. Sinead Mary Ryan. Nicola Salmon. Aoife Scanlon. Daniel Sheehan. Brigitte Sheehan. Garrod Sheehy. Emma Tracy. Niamh Tuberty. Dara Toohey. Louise Walsh. Sean Walsh. Thomas Joseph Walsh. Laura Walsh. Joan Maria Ward. Trina Waters. Avril Whelan. Joseph Gerard Whelan. Stephanie Whisker. And the last of the BA graduates of 2013, Emma Woods. Máiste Sna Ceannaireacht Christie, Master of Arts, Christian Leadership, Siobhan Fitzgerald. Marie McGrath. Michael Nutley. Mary O'Sullivan. Máisteach na Dána I Dteanga agus litríocht an nua bhéarla, Master of Arts in Modern English Language and Literature, David Burke. Deirdre Clohessy. Lisa Dillon. Anne Nash. Mary O'Loughlin. Máiste sna Dána Gaeilge, Sam Reynolds. Ciarán McReinal. Linda Nihuhig. Tomás O'Quilloin. Máiste sna Dána Star, Master of Arts in History, John Buckley. Mark Foley. Evan Hare, in absentia. Jane Mulhall. Noreen Ward. Jesse Waters. Máiste sna Dána Stadair ar na Man, Master of Arts in Media Studies, in absentia, Kate Crowley. Máiste sna Dána Fialsúnacht agus Litríocht, Master of Arts, Philosophy and Literature, Joanna Mulcahy. Máiste sna Dána Stadair ar Religiún, Master of Arts, Theological Studies, Anthony Hayford. Margaret Harriott. Godfrey Katumba. Owen O'Madigoyne. Professor Breen will now present the candidates for the awards of master's and doctoral degrees by research and thesis.
President, the Academic Council of the University has been satisfied that the following candidates are worthy to be awarded master's and doctoral degrees by research and thesis. Therefore, I present the candidates and request you to confer the awards on them.
Ruth Gyrey. Mary McCarthy. Ciara Young. David Loughnane. John O'Neill. Eleanor McSherry. Michelle Glasheen. James Hannon. John Shelton in absentia. The doctoral candidates will be presented with their HUDs and caps by their internal supervisors. The doctoral candidates will then be presented with their parchments by the President of the University. Dr. James Binchy has successfully undertaken a programme of study and research under the joint internal supervision of Dr. Anne O'Keefe and Professor Michael McCarthy. The title of the doctoral research thesis is Apparent Randomness and Chaotic Non-Linearity, Change over Time in the Essays of a Cohort of Philosophy Undergraduates. The doctoral candidate will now be presented with his HUD and cap by Dr. Anne O'Keefe and Professor Michael McCarthy. Dr. David Blake has successfully undertaken a programme of study and research under the internal supervision of Professor Eamon Conway. The title of the doctoral research thesis is The Phenomenology of Givenness of Jean-Luc Marion and the Critical Realism of Bernard J.F. Lonergan, a Theological Confrontation. The doctoral candidate will now be presented with his HUD and cap by his supervisor, Professor Eamon Conway. Dr. Mary Theresa Bryan has successfully undertaken a programme of study and research under the internal supervision of Dr. Thomas Brodie. The title of the doctoral research thesis is Mercy and Righteousness Have Met, Literary Structure as Key to the Supremacy of Mercy in Romans. The doctoral candidate will now be presented with her HUD and cap by her supervisor, Dr. Thomas Brodie. Dr. Geraldine Brosnan has successfully undertaken a programme of study and research under the joint internal supervision of Dr. Anne O'Keefe and Dr. Caroline Healy. The title of the doctoral research thesis is An Examination of Adult Access in Higher Education in Ireland, Policy and Practice. The doctoral candidate will now be presented with her hood and cap by her internal supervisors, Dr. Anne O'Keefe and Dr. Caroline Healy. Dr. William Buck has successfully undertaken a programme of study and research under the internal supervision of Dr. Deirdre McMahon. The title of the doctoral research thesis is Aliens in Wartime, Reactions and Responses to Foreign Nationalities and Minorities in Ireland During the First World War. The doctoral candidate will now be presented with his hood and cap by his internal supervisor, Dr. Deirdre McMahon. Dr. Kristen Butler has successfully undertaken a programme of study and research under the internal supervision of Dr. Eugene O'Brien. The title of the doctoral research thesis is War of the Words Invasion, Textual Politics and the Evolution of Empire. The doctoral candidate will now be presented with her hood and cap by her internal supervisor, Dr. O'Brien. Dr. Tanya Fahy Palma has successfully undertaken a programme of study and research under the joint internal supervision of Dr. Anne O'Keefe and Professor Michael McCarthy. The title of the doctoral research thesis is Investigating Communicative Strategies in Novice Professional Communities of Practice, a comparative study of engineering and marketing meetings. The doctoral candidate will now be presented with her hood and cap by her supervisors, Dr. Anne O'Keefe and Professor Michael McCarthy. Dr. Conor Farnan has successfully undertaken a programme of study and research under the internal supervision of Dr. John McDonough. The title of the doctoral research thesis is A Moral Map, a thematic study of the poetry of Paul Durcan. The doctoral candidate will now be presented with his hood and cap by his internal supervisor, Dr. McDonough. Dr. David Ledon has successfully undertaken a programme of study and research under the internal supervision of Dr. Loic Guillaume. The title of the doctoral research thesis is The Social Human Being According to Zola. The doctoral candidate will now be presented with his hood and cap by his internal supervisor, Dr. Loic Guillaume. Dr. Louise Lieber has successfully undertaken a programme of study and research under the internal supervision of Dr. John McDonough. The title of the doctoral research thesis is Reimagining Tolkien, a post-colonial perspective on J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. The doctoral candidate will now be presented with her hood and cap by her internal supervisor, Dr. McDonough. Dr. Dervla McCarthy has successfully undertaken a programme of study and research under the internal supervision of Dr. John McDonough. The title of the doctoral research thesis is The Examined Life, the Construction of Identity in the Novels of Contemporary Irish Writer Michael Curtin. The doctoral candidate will now be presented with her hood and cap by her internal supervisor, Dr. John McDonough. Dr. David Maloney has successfully undertaken a programme of study and research under the internal supervision of Dr. Suzanne Egan. The title of the doctoral research thesis is The Role of Self-Regulatory Individual Differences and Counterfactual Thinking. The doctoral candidate will now be presented with his hood and cap by Dr. Marek McGann. Dr. Deirdre Ryan has successfully undertaken a programme of study and research under the internal supervision of Dr. Kerry Greer. The title of the doctoral research thesis is How does the left hand know what the right hand is doing? An investigation of the mechanism underpinning the intermanual transfer of acquired skill-hand movement as postulated by the proficiency, callosal access and cross-activation models. That's the title of it, not the thesis. Okay? The doctoral candidate will now be presented with her hood and cap by her internal supervisor, Dr. Kerry Greer. Dr. Claire Scully has successfully undertaken a programme of study and research under the internal supervision of Dr. Marcus Free. The title of the doctoral research thesis is Being Good Fans in Bad Times, Irish fans of the US television drama The West Wing and the reflexive negotiation of personal and collective identity at a time of political and social crisis. The doctoral candidate will now be presented with her hood and cap by her internal supervisor, Dr. Marcus Free. Dr. Karen Sparber has successfully undertaken a programme of study and research under the internal supervision of Dr. Catherine Dalton. The title of the doctoral research thesis is Neo- and Paleolimnological Investigations in a Humic and Clearwater Lake in the West of Ireland. Dr. Sparber is being conferred in absentia. The Dean of the Faculty of Education, Professor Teresa O'Doherty, will now present the candidates for the conferring of Thought Postgraduate Awards in Education.
President, the Academic Council of the University has been satisfied that the following candidates are worthy to be conferred with the Thought Postgraduate Awards. Therefore, I present the candidates and request you to confer the awards on them.
Diploma Irkema Riachtanis Specialta Education. Graduate Diploma in Special Educational Needs. Irene Barrett. Helen Barry. Francis Broderick. Declan Brommel. Tara Carey. Aoife Caulfield. Nicola Corcoran. Tracy Kern. Denise Dillon. Mary Fallon. Breed Flurry Franks. Noel Gleeson. Orla Graham. Moira Hickey. Nora Higgins McHugh. Marion Kennelly. Magella Lillis. Maeve Lynch. Brenda McElligott. Elaine Maguire. Sinead McKee. Irene McMahon. Shauna McNamara. Noreen Moore-Heenan. Norma Moore-Walsh. Betty Morrissey. Denise Murphy. Carol Murphy. Rosemary Murphy. Elaine Nihey. Nora O'Regan Falvey. Christina Philpott. Thomas Prendergast. Amy Ryan. Eva Ryan. Olivia Shield. Maeve Torpy. Anya Vaughan. Claire Walsh. And finally, Sinead White. Master san Educus, Riachnish Specialta Educus. Master of Education, Special Educational Needs, Lisa Buckley. David Moroney. Master Snadonna Educus Kjol. Master of Arts in Music Education, Michelle Creed. And our final graduand today is Alma Ryan. I now have great pleasure in introducing the special awards. Each year a gold medal is awarded to the graduate who is awarded first place in the BA in Liberal Arts. This year's winner is Conor Madigan. And to present the award, we have the college president, Professor Michael Hayes. The next award is the French Embassy Prize. This is presented to the BA or BEd graduate who's made the greatest progress in French over the course of his or her undergraduate studies. This year's winner is Michal O'Flaherty. You've got to come back a bit, you've got to back up a bit. Because to present the award, we have the head of the Department of French Studies, Dr. Loic Guillon. The next prize is the St. Bonaventure Trust Prize. This is presented to the graduate on each of the BA in Liberal Arts and the BEd programmes who's awarded first place in Theology and Religious Studies. To present the award will be presented by Bishop Brendan Leahy, and the winner is Tomás Frawley. Silver medals are presented to the students who obtained first place in the various subject areas in the BA, the BEd or the BEd in Psychology. The BEd in Education Psychology. This afternoon we have a total of 6 winners. The winner in English is Brian Devaney. And to present the award, the head of the Department of English is Dr. Eugene O'Brien. This year we have two winners in geography. One is being presented now, and the winner is Christopher O'Looney. And he'll be presented with his silver medal by Professor Des McCafferty, who's head of the department. The winner in history is Vincent McCarthy. And to present him with his award, coming over from the back of the hall there, is Dr. Liam Chambers. We also have joint winners in mathematics, one of whom is to receive it now, and that's Anne-Marie O'Donnell. And her medal will be presented by Diarmuid O'Driscoll, who's head of the Department of Mathematics and Computer Studies. The winner of the medal in Media and Communication Studies is Michael Dowling. Head of Department, Dr. Rosemary Day, will present the award. And the final recipient of a silver medal today is in music, and the recipient is Sinead Ryan. And Dr. Paul Collins of the music department will present it. Our final three awards are firstly the MIC Doctoral Scholarship. And the winner of the Doctoral Scholarship is Michelle Kennedy in English, and her award will be presented by the President of the College. Next, we have the MIC Doctoral Studentship, and the winner is John Harnett in English. And the President will also present this. And our final award is the MIC Postgraduate Award, and it goes to Anne Murphy in History, and the President will present that as well. I now call upon Professor Don Barry, President of the University of Limerick, to make his address.
Mayor of Limerick, Councillor Kathleen Ledden, Cathaoirleach of Limerick County Council, Councillor John Sheehan, Bishop Leahy, members of the Governing Authority of the University of Limerick, members of An Bord Rialacha, and President of Mary Immaculate College, distinguished guests, parents, friends, families, and most especially members of the graduating class of 2013. It's a great pleasure and indeed a privilege for me to be here this afternoon and to be given the opportunity to address you at this conferring ceremony. Today is the day when we reward the effort and hard work our students have put into their studies over the last number of years. A day when we rejoice in their achievements and gladly celebrate their success with them. And I want to say to you, the graduates, that we at the University of Limerick and at Mary Immaculate College are very, very proud of you and of what you have achieved here today. In this hall today, I'm sure there are many stories from the past few years of challenges overcome and of goals met, stories of deadlines, projects and examinations, moments of despair, and moments of illumination. No? Not even one? Well, I'm sure there are many other stories as well, stories of great friendships formed and of epic adventures that will become even more epic whenever you have the good fortune to bump into one another in the years and decades ahead and recall your time here at Mary I. So before I go any further, I would ask you, the graduates, to just pause for a moment, take stock and look around you and enjoy this moment right here. This is your moment. So breathe it in and be very proud of yourself and of your achievements. I also want to pay a special tribute to all those who are basking in the reflected glory of our graduates, including parents, spouses, partners, children, siblings, friends, and teachers, those who are here with us today and those who could not be with us to join in the celebrations. They too deserve immense credit for their role in helping these graduates get through the rigors of a university program. And I also want to pay tribute to colleagues in the academic and support areas whose individual contributions to Mary I and indeed to UL have helped all present today reach the successful conclusion which this ceremony represents. To the graduates, let me say that though you leave this institution in what are uncertain times, this is still an exciting time to be graduating. When I started out in my career, almost 20 years ago now, there was an expected path. I'm glad none of you laughed, but when I say that in UL, they all start laughing, but you're much more polite here in Mary I, so thank you for that. Anyway, when I started out in my career many years ago, there was an expected path on which I was expected to travel, and on entering university, people around my hometown of Mallow in Cork would be saying to me, "What are you doing in UCC?" which is where I went, "and when you finish, what job will you get?" That was the question that used to get asked in those days. And on entering many companies and industries, you had an expectation that this was your one and only job. You would be here for the rest of your life, and for many people, that really was the case. Today's graduates can expect to have many different jobs throughout their careers. Some will change career paths many times, and some of you will completely reinvent yourselves, maybe more than once during your lives. The good news is that your education here at Mary I has provided you not only with a body of knowledge in your chosen discipline, but you are also leaving here with the ability to think critically, to reason, to analyze, to evaluate, to discuss and debate effectively. You have been encouraged to have opinion and to explore your flair for creativity. And let me assure you that these skills are transferable to any career you choose. In addition, they will contribute to your understanding of the world and the challenges we face. You have the ability to absorb information and make informed decisions about a never-ending list of topics, making you the kind of employee that organizations today seek and desire. But you must hold steadfast to your ambitions. You mustn't be deterred by the current situation. You cannot listen to what others say you should do, or what society says you must do, or what pessimists say you can't do. Nelson Mandela once said, and I quote, "There is no passion to be found in playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living." And so I say to you as you leave here today, exhaust every opportunity, take every chance, and follow every road that will get you one step closer to where you want to be. This unfortunate situation our country is in will not last. It cannot last. So do not lay the foundations of your future on it. Do not settle because you think you have to. You have a career ahead of you, a ways to go. So think big about your future. In conclusion, can I just say that my colleagues and I wish you every success as you leave to begin the rest of your lives. I hope that you've enjoyed your time at Mary I, and I hope that that time has provided you with the foundation you need and deserve for a richly challenging and fulfilling life and career. My very best wishes to each and every one of you. Ganairi Gagal Filaire.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased to call on Professor Michael Hayes, President of Mary Immaculate College, to make his conferring address. Professor Hayes.
Mayor of Limerick, Councillor Kathleen Ledden, Cathaoirleach of Limerick County Councillor John Sheehan, Chair of On Board Rialaha, Bishop Brendan Leahy, President of the University of Limerick, Professor Don Barry, trustees of the college, members of On Board Rialaha, college staff and students, distinguished guests, parents, family, friends, and graduates of the class of 2013. Tá an áthas orm céad míle fáilte a có roimh ila go dtí coláiste mhíre gan small inniu. It gives me tremendous pleasure to welcome you to this ceremony today. I would like to extend my warmest congratulations to the class of 2013 for arriving at this milestone in your lives. I share your pride and I delight in your presence. Anthropologists speak of rites of passage, those rituals during which people take on a new status and are reborn into society as new and different persons. Those of you who have graduated today have gone through such a ritual with the forms of this ceremony and even the academic dress you wear corresponding to the movements and costumes of a rite of passage. But what sort of person have you become now that you are a Mary I graduate? We at Mary Immaculate College are confident that you have been well prepared, not only for a successful career, but also for a flourishing life. You have been helped here to develop as a whole person, intellectually, personally, and spiritually, as symbolized on our campus by the proximity of wonderful teaching spaces, state-of-the-art sport facilities, the chapel, and our lime tree theatre. For in this place, education is not the utilitarian pursuit of skills. Rather, it is based on the transformation of lives, directed towards the building of the common good of society in Ireland and beyond. Your intellectual skills, especially to understand and analyze, to generate creative new ideas, and to exercise independence of mind, have grown enormously. So too has your ability to express yourself orally and in writing. And what of the fact that you have been part of a relatively small community characterized by a desire for trust and respect built on its Catholic ethos? It is my hope that from this you have developed strong values of regard for others, of the need to make a positive contribution in the world, and of respect for creation. I hope that amongst those values that you will take away from here are that of loyalty, kinship, and generosity. Loyalty to your academic discipline, enshrined by academic freedom and the pursuit of knowledge. Kinship to the friends you have made here and to the staff whose raison d'etre has been to support your learning. And generosity to those whom you will meet in the future, and in particular to those who are less fortunate than you. We have over 1,000 graduates, 1,010 to be precise, students graduating at 3 different ceremonies today and tomorrow, including 15 PhDs. This year, 74 of our graduates received first-class honours from undergraduate degree programmes and graduate diploma in education primary teaching programme in the college. In recognition of their stellar academic success in accomplishing this, these students were granted a Mary Immaculate College President's Scholarship for the academic year 2013-14. The President's Scholarships Awards came into existence in response to the college's strategic plan 2012 to 2016, and in particular our vision of enabling worthy students to pursue higher level learning opportunities and research of outstanding quality at this time of unprecedented change and renewal and reform in Irish education. These scholarship awards represent our investment in our students' continuing professional development through established programs of excellence in a range of postgraduate subject areas. These scholarships will provide recipients with an opportunity to pursue postgraduate study at graduate diploma, thought masters or research masters level here at the college. Some of the recipients of these awards are with us today, and I congratulate each of you on this wonderful achievement. In September, our college community was delighted to hear that the announcement that 4 of the college's students were shortlisted by a panel of international academics for the prestigious International Undergraduate Awards competition. These 4 students, 3 from the Faculty of Education and 1 from the Faculty of Arts, one of whom has been conferred today with a Bachelor of Arts, Gary Locke, for his research in social science category, were highly commended among 3,771 applicants from 182 institutions and 25 nationalities for their innovative undergraduate research. Mary Immaculate College was the only institution in Ireland to have 2 students in the top 10% within the psychology division. It is a great honour for us that our students are recognised in this way, and is an example of the quality of our graduates. It's also a tribute to all the staff here who have contributed to the third level experience of these students who continue to excel and flourish at both national and international academic stage. Two key features of our college mission statements are the promotion of excellence and our commitment to enabling all students to attain their true potential. In congratulating our 15 PhD graduates this afternoon on their wonderful achievement, I would particularly like to acknowledge the inspirational journey that some of these graduates who enter the college through the foundation program or through one of the college's access routes. While you have been a student here, the college has been engaged at a national level in what is known as the strategic dialogue process. Shortly after the publication in 2011 of the landmark National Strategy for Higher Education to 2030, the Higher Education Authority, the HEA, initiated a strategic dialogue with higher education sector towards delivery of that vision set out in the national strategy. In 2012, the HEA invited all higher education institutions to set out their intended strategic posture within the higher education landscape. And additionally, colleges of education were asked to put forward their vision and strategy for the academic provision of initial teacher education. MIC submitted comprehensive documents under these processes, and this has been followed up by two major recommendations by the Minister for Education and Skills. One, that MIC should form part of the Midwest Regional Cluster along with the University of Limerick and the Limerick Institute of Technology. And secondly, that the college should join with UL in establishing an Institute of Excellence for Teacher Education. We at Mary Immaculate College, together with our partner institutions, have welcomed these recommendations. They recognise the strong tradition of inter-institutional collaboration that existed between us and acknowledges the outstanding contribution to teacher education in a national context that has been made by us. In August this year, all higher education institutions were asked by the HEA to set out their programme of activities for the next 3 years. This exercise involves the articulation of institutional objectives that are aligned to the goals contained in the National Strategy for Higher Education, and the setting of performance indicators and measurable targets that will achieve these goals. I am pleased to tell you that this college has produced a detailed and robust document, and we expect that this will form the basis of a performance impact between ourselves and the HEA that sets out our mutual aspirations. But today is about our graduates. And of course, behind every graduate, there are always other people to be found. Dedicated mothers and fathers, grandparents, spouses or partners, relatives or friends, who have also been part of the process, from the major sacrifice of financial support at one end to the kindly provision of advice in the bleaker times on the other. On behalf of Mary Immaculate College and its graduates, let me express our gratitude to you, and you know who you are, for your generosity, your strength and your trust in the years that have led to this day, and for the immense differences those qualities have made to those who have graduated. And I invite our graduates to stand for a moment and to express your gratitude to these wonderful people who have joined you today. Can sit. I now wish on your behalf to thank the Mary Immaculate College staff members from the academic faculties and the professional service departments who have worked with you over several years to help you arrive at this happy day. Their dedication and expertise in this school of learning has helped transform you into the skilled, competent, aware individuals that you are today. We have much to thank them for. Please join me in acknowledging their professionalism and commitment. I want also to thank the University of Limerick, which has ratified your degrees and deemed your standard of achievement suitable for admission to the ranks of its graduates. I thank in particular the President of the University, Professor Don Barry. On behalf of the College, I express our appreciation to all the university staff who have assisted our graduates in their passage through the College. A special thank you to the Mace Bearer of the University of Limerick, John O'Neill. And to Mary Darmody, our sign language interpreter today. Thank you. Mary Immaculate College is not just a community of current students and staff. It remembers its alumni, including you who graduate today. And it also looks forward to those who are to come. We are a people with a shared memory, with a shared sense of who we are now, and with a shared hope that the future lies gently in God's hands. We will not forget you, and we will do all we can to keep you involved with us so that you remain part of the life and experience of Mary I. Today you join a band of some 22,000 women and men who have graced this place and have graduated here since 1898. Stay in touch with us, and I commend to you our Alumni Association, and I invite you to join it. Our graduates go into a world which is different from those who have gone from here in the past, for you go into a world of economic and social insecurity, where former certainties about employment and identity can no longer be assumed. However, in our current society, your education and formation here will put you in good stead to meet the challenges that lie ahead. For here, you have been helped to play your role in creating a new knowledge society, but more importantly, in helping to create a just society. And for now, let me, on behalf of the College, wish you all the best for your lives and careers today and in the future. And with this rite of passage concluding, bid you Godspeed. Go dogad dia gach drá, agus benacht dir var drús sail. Go raibh míle maithe go léir.